G'day there, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to look at what's inside a blood pressure monitor. So this is just an automatic one. It's got the module itself, the pump, and then the cuff. So where this works is it's got a pump in there and it pumps air in. As you can see, that sort of filling up. It gives an error because it's expecting some pressure there. But otherwise this just fills around your arm and then it just sort of measures that pressure. Alright, so this comes out. This is the whole cuff assembly. It's just an airbag inside with then just sort of this cuff cover that actually goes around your arm. So the module itself is just battery powered, 4 AAA batteries. Alright, and there's no visible screws there, so maybe they're under... No, these feet don't actually look like they're feet. That's just injection molded in the same part. So there probably won't be anything holding it together there. I wonder if it just clips open. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's just got 2 clips up on top and then 2 screws down the bottom. So the screws aren't actually hidden under the feet because the feet aren't an extra component, but they're hidden under the front sort of cover of this. So actually not that much to it. So there's an LCD screen here, which just obviously directly corresponds to the front. The PCB itself, it's got a few more screws actually. I will undo that as well. Alright, awesome. So this is the whole brain box of the whole thing, the printed circuit board. Didn't realize before, but it does have a USB-C power in, so maybe that's to charge batteries if they're rechargeable, or just actually power it from that as well. Now this thing here was connected up to the hose. So this hose then goes all the way through here, through to the pump, but also out into the actual cuff. So that's what measures the pressure and the pulse of the person through the sort of modulation of the air pressure. So that'll just be a membrane inside that'll correspond to, or that'll generate a voltage or current value depending on the pressure applied to it. And then there'll be microcontrollers here that'll read it. So there's actually quite a couple of different ones. This looks like the big one, so that'll probably do most of the main processing, and then probably just a couple of smaller ones for detecting that pressure. There'll probably also be a temperature compensator on this as well, so a little thermometer that'll measure the temperature, because the air pressure will change based on that. And on the other side, just a few buttons that just correspond to this on the other side. So this was actually just injection molded in the same piece in a certain way, so it's got that channel around it and just allows a little bit of flexibility. So as these buttons are pushed from the inside, there's just that little bit of flex, which is just enough to actually actuate these little tactile push buttons. And then this sort of array of exposed contacts here just corresponds directly to this sort of membrane here, which has a lot of little conductions, contacts through it that conducts the signal from the PCB onto the screen. Doesn't look like there's a backlight there. There's nothing to actually light up that screen. There's nothing to actually light up that screen. So I don't think this has a backlight. Doesn't look like there's any LEDs on here either. And then further, there's just a contactor 4-pin connector here that just connects onto the PCB. So 2 of those. So yeah, 2 of these connections just go to the battery bank back here on the array of batteries, and the other 2 just go to the motor. So there's just a small motor there, a little DC, probably a brushed motor, and this is just going to be a little pump So just a little pump that actually pumps that air and makes pressure. There's a few screws, see if I can open it up and see what's there. So this is just a foam glued onto the outside. So most likely what that's there for is, that's how this is mounted down to the case. So that'll just absorb a bit of that vibration from this pump. All right, so the pump, it looks like it's just a membrane. Yeah, all right, so what happens is, that's just the shaft of the motor that spins, so it does have a little tooth on there, this little plastic bit, and as that spins, that'll turn the underside of this, and as this turns, it just oscillates in a circular motion, and then it's got little cups down here, so little rubber cups, probably see it better from this side. So as that turns, that actually just generates pressure. So there's 3 different sort of compartments. Each compartment gets pressurized or pushed in, that pressure gets created, and then there's just going to be a one-way check valve on this side. So I don't think we'll be able to see that because it's probably going to be glued together. Yeah, I can't really open that up. So inside here, there's just going to be that pressure just gets pushed in, but it can only go one way. So it gets pushed in and then into the tube and into the calf, but nothing can come back as that sort of check valve there just opens and closes to only let it go one way. And again, just another quick little thing of that. So this is effectively how it works. As the shaft spins just really quickly, that sits up against sort of that valve assembly, and it just sort of creates that pressure there. And these little grooves in here are most likely there just to draw fresh air in. There's actually other check valves here as well. So this little flap down here, maybe get a smaller screwdriver. This just little flap of rubber just opens and closes, just again to let air in one way. So maybe that might even be doing the actual control of airflow. I think that's probably it. So I think that's it. So something along those lines, but basically check valve and air gets pushed and pulled and can only get shot out that way. That's how that works. And then this whole assembly just sits, or the pump just sits here, and it just goes onto this splitter. So this really just looks like a splitter that splits the air from the motor into the actual calf, which attaches to it from the outside like this, and there's a little O-ring over there to seal that, and then the other side, this side here, goes onto the actual circuit board just like that, and then the circuit board does the sensing and the measurement of the pressure and determines how much to pump it up. So that's pretty much it. Quite simple to it, only a few actual really components, and that's how an automatic blood pressure machine works. So thanks very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, please do leave a like, it does help out, and if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Thanks very much.